All right, guys, it's Cutlass. Happy Sunday. I wanted to come out here to just kind of talk, and I want to thank you guys. There's kind of been an outpouring of support for me to keep this car, and that means a lot to me, believe it or not, because, if you guys have been following me long enough, you know the story with this car. It's been through all of my life changes. I've maintained it going and going and going and going on a limited budget. And, and I made a video of kind of like the history of this car. I'll drop it in the description. Feel free to go check it out because it's been a really fun ride with this car. But, you can have fun with women, but once you get married, like you can't change them out, without it costing you a lot of money. With race cars, I guess it's no different, but with race cars, you don't lose half of everything. You just get rid of the car and get another one. So our racing season's officially over. My buddy bought my entry points, which is, I think 30 or 88 points. And we are actually in 12th or actually 11th place. We're locked in 11th place with somebody else, but everybody in Sportsman had a rough year. Some of the older racers realized it was their time, and one racer flat out after like one late race said, "I'm done. I can't do it. My eyes are not good." And, he selling his car and moving on, and he's out of racing. He's done. And there was another racer who's been racing for a long time who also sold his car and gone. And there was guys that were holding high points who didn't show up the last couple of races and kind of worked to our advantage. Last year, we were in like 8th or 7th place up until the last race where I fucked up on my dial-in, and that's that. So, but the Bonneville came through, man. 1480s out of this car. I'm really happy. There's a couple things I do want to do. I do plan on racing this car next year. This is going to be our everything car next year. We're going to be doing this. I'm probably going to be towing it, though. I have to just figure out the whole scenario of getting it up on the trailer because it's got a chin spoiler from the factory and it's kind of it sits low. It's longer. So I got to have my buddy Tim help me figure out what I got to do to get the car loaded up there by myself, just because I don't want to, rip the headers off. The headers on this car scrape going up my driveway. They don't on the olds, but it's almost borderline. So, with that being said, the thought of selling the car is still kind of on my mind. I do plan on replacing the frame, but for now, I'm going to patch it up. I'm going to brace it up, and we're going to hit the track and keep an eye on it and make some passes. We've patched up the frame before. Instead, it was in the front. That's held up, and you figure in the front, you get a lot more torque twist than in the rear. But in the rear also, I can't say that it broke because of load. If you guys came over to my house and had a beer, you would know that going up my driveway, it's like about 4 feet, and it's like a 3.5 foot rise to the flat, so it's on a very steep angle. And this car going up there with a spool probably twists and moves a lot, puts a lot of stress on the chassis as it wants to just pull instead of turn. But could it have been? Maybe. Could it have been the rough street testing that we're doing? Maybe. But at this point, I have to fix the frame and get the car to the track. Our tune is very close, and I know it. Our tune is still really lean, but I fattened up the idle circuits. A lot of our popping went away, and that tells me that we just need more jet. This engine wants a lot of jet. It always did, even in the past with the old carburetor. Before anybody helped me with carburetors or anything, just a standard 750 HP, I was running like an 86 and a 93 jet. And right now this has a 78 and 91. So, and this is with an 850, and between the 750 and the 850, the fuel draw is going to be a little bit differently. So regardless, not going to get into that. We're going to do it at the track, and we're going to take this and we're going to put 4 jet sizes, front and rear in the back, maybe pull out the power plugs and just square it up because I don't really drive it on the street, so we might just do that. I don't know. But point is, we are going to try to get this to the track within the next couple of weeks. And also, this sleeved 350 is what's going to become the next engine for the Bonneville. I decided that I want to do a hydraulic roller cam setup for this and keep the compression at like 10 to 1, under 9 to 1, under like 9 and 9.8, somewhere in total safe range for pump gas. We know that we hurt the motor probably from revving the piss out of it with Preston pins and heavy pistons. It's going to be my guess, because I rev this engine to 7,000, but it's got a much, much lighter piston, and it's got stock rods and it's still on the Preston wrist pins. So this engine is going to get built for the Pontiac. Now, it's not going to happen overnight. This thing is going to I'm going to keep it the same way, but we are going to do some things to make it better. We're going to do a lot of little things to make it better, to try to make it a little bit faster. So I'm going to keep the same gear, but I am going to put a different transmission in it, because ultimately I know that the intermediate stack on the clutches, I screwed up and put them in backwards as far as the clutch stack, clutch steel. I did clutch steel versus steel clutch. So I have to either fix that or just put another transmission in it. And I actually built that transmission 10 years ago, and I just took it apart when we did the framework, and everything still looked good, so I just put it back together. But I'm looking at possibly doing a new radiator, electric fans, maybe putting in manual steering in this thing, and putting an X pipe on it. A lot of little things like that. It does need a little bit of front suspension work, because I run an aluminum spacer in the spring, because the springs settled in so bad from Beltec that this car was almost on the ground. It's crazy what that 1-inch spacer did, but the stance is perfect in the car right now. So I'm going to look for a spring to accommodate that, and maybe put like an 80-20 shock in the front. And in the rear, I want to do adjustable rear control arms for this car. The uppers are adjustable and they're nice. We made these lowers, but I don't have Zerx fittings, and I didn't really drill them out for nylon, like bushings, like a lot of people do, or bronze bushings. So this thing is kind of clunky. Got rid of a lot of it, but it's still clunky. And I want to change the shifter, which I have. We got this Hurst quarter stick that I'm going to put in there. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. I want to thank you guys for following along, and your kind words of encouragement. It means a lot to me. I missed my race ultimately, because it was the first big outing with my wife since she had her injury, so I wasn't going to miss that. She encouraged me to go out and race for the season, and she bought tickets for a concert thinking that I was going to race on Sunday, and it was a Saturday, and I wasn't about to make a big deal out of it. So in short, it's been a hell of a year, but we're not done trying. We're not done. We're not done. I've been encouraged enough to at least patch this thing up, get it to the track, dial it in, and if somebody wants to buy it as is, once we do that, then it's gone. I think I'm looking at a Fox body platform like a Thunderbird, just because parts are available and cheap, and I've built a few Ford engines. I'm comfortable with them. So we'll leave it at that. We'll see you guys later. Share, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram.